Hello and welcome to my garden and the dinosaurs who live there. Well, in front of me you can probably see I have a rather overfull bed, and this is my bed, or one of the beds I have with strawberries in, and I haven't done anything with it since the strawberries fruited. Now we've got this big mound of plants with runners and weeds, and I really need to clear out this bed and get it all nice and tidy, just have the plants in that I want to grow on next year and get the other plants somewhere else in the garden. So join me as I try and do that. Unfortunately, a lot of these strawberries have actually grown through the net, so I might end up decapitating a few when I take the net off, but well, I've got tons, so such is life. Let's start there, shall we? Take away. So I'm going to be quite brutal with these. Some of the runners haven't rooted. I'm not going to bother trying to root them now. I really just want to get down to a nice lot of plants in the bed, and I'll pot up some of the runners that have actually managed to root themselves. And I'm just going to chop the leaves that are a bit ropey in the plants to leave the nice, fresh, young growth.
Just where he was needed, gleaming black as night, cloistered in injustice, dead.
Now I can see down here some strawberries have rooted, so let's pop that. So I will dig these up.
Nobody is losing. Faces merchant change, but your face remains the same. The swallows will be here by dawn.
So you can see this strawberry plant has got loads of roots. This is basically what we call a runner, which is a baby from the big plant. And the big plants, after they've fruited, will send out these long long stems, if you like, and at the end, and at intervals, because they can have more than one baby on one stem, they will have the start of a new plant. And if that sits on earth, it will root. And once it's got roots, you can cut it away from the mother plant and you've got yourself a new plant. So really, once you've got strawberries, you really should never be without strawberries, because each year they'll give you more and more. And I generally will have a strawberry plant for about 3 years, then they will be composted and I'll always have lots of babies to take their place. Right, I've brought some of the smaller runners or baby plants. I've brought some of them down here, and I've got some pots, and I'm just going to pop one in each of these pots just to let them grow on through the winter in these pots, and I'll put these ones out in the spring once I know where they're going. It might be that I pop them into hanging baskets. It might be that I pop them into a bed, because I'm going to be building more beds over the winter. But they're quite small, so I'll just pop them into, as I say, pop them into these pots, and that will help them to grow on a little bit for the next few months. Hello Dottie, are you watching? Now I have some compost here, and I'm going to mix a little bit of vermiculite into it, it's just general purpose compost, but I'm going to mix some vermiculite in just to lighten it up a little bit, because I find this peat free compost, which this is, can be a bit claggy. Goodness knows what they're putting in it instead of the peat. So let's just pop that in, get my vermiculite, where did I put that? Here we go. This just happens to be a bag of vermiculite that I still had open, so I'll put it to good use. So with the vermiculite, of course, it just aerates the compost a bit. It also helps with drainage, and it helps to maintain a nice level of moisture without things getting too wet. Right. Here we have some little square pots. They are probably 7 centimetre, or the square equivalent of 7 centimetre pots. And what I'll be doing with each of these little plants is I will be cutting off the remains of any horrible leaves. Quite brutal, but this one, we've got some new leaves forming and an existing leaf there. Pop it in to the pot, making sure that the crown of the plant, which is this middle bit where everything grows from, making sure that is just above the surface of the soil so that it doesn't rot off. And there we have our first little baby strawberry plant potted up. So I'll do some more, and I'm going to pop these into the polytunnel, and that will give them a little bit more protection. They can winter out, but if you pop them indoors, over the winter time, they get a better start in the spring, and you sometimes get an earlier harvest of strawberries. And I'll make sure they get a nice water as well. I think I'll leave all of these leaves on. These bigger ones will probably turn yellow, and I'll snip them off later on. Okay, that's 10 little baby strawberries potted up. Basically plants for nothing. So it really is worthwhile getting your baby strawberries and digging them up if they've grown in some place you don't want them and putting them where you do. So I will give these a water. I'll pop them in the polytunnel. I'll let them sit in there over the next 2 or 3 months, and come the springtime they will definitely be ahead of any of the strawberry plants that are not in the polytunnel, and then I can work out where they're actually going to go.
Come closer, dance for me. Easy, tiger, easy, let your hair down. Come closer, let me see all your million faces and all your million mistakes. You don't need to hide. Come closer so that we can be together. Everything that has.
Here goes. Because of course some of the strawberry plants will have rooted their babies actually in this bed, so I've still got more plants in this bed than I need. Okay, this is a big one. Oh my goodness. Right. Actually, that's 2 by the looks of it, but the roots are pretty well merged together. I'll pop you there. Stay there. That's it. Okay, I've cleared out the strawberry plants and any weeds and things I came across. I'm now going to put a liberal application of fish blood and bone, and then I'm going to top it up with a new bag of compost, and I think that should do the trick for getting the bed organised for the strawberries to go back in. They're of course not going to really need much over the winter because they're not really going to be growing. They're just going to be sitting and then in the springtime putting on growth. But it just means that when they do start growing, we have some nutrients for them. And just adding some more compost to this bed because it's a bit shallow now. It's dropped a bit since I first set it up. Now I've got some pots that have compost in. I might see if there's a couple of pots I can put in here as well, just to give it more of a top up. Let's see what I can find. Oh, and there we go. Turn your back and there's a chicken enjoying your hard work. Thank you, Dottie. Oh dear. Heavy. Oof. Right. This had some turnips in that I've harvested. So there's a few wee weeds in the top. And I think we can pop that in here. Just add a bit more to this bed. Ooh. Right, let's tip this in. Oh. Right. Magic. So, I'll get this all spread out and we can look at the strawberries we're going to put back in. Right, I'm thinking I'll put 6 strawberry plants in here. So let me just find, right, this is a nice strong looking plant. So I'm just going to give it a haircut to just get rid of the remaining leaves, bad leaves, and the stems that I have cut already. And that leaves us with a nice, a nice healthy looking plant. So that's going to go there. Oh, oh. I just see another little stem. This one looks quite healthy as well. It's obviously had a lot of babies. I hope it's fine for next year. Now this is another thing I love about doing what I'm doing, is that I'm getting lots of green material for my compost bins, because I do struggle, even though there's lots of plants in the garden and stuff that dies off, green material that dies off and goes into the compost bins. I have a lot of browns in the compost bins because I have the chicken bedding, which is hemp, and it is a brown material where composting is concerned. Now it does have lots of chicken poo in it, which I guess is, well, it's nitrogen rich, so I don't know whether that would count as brown or count as green, to be fair. But yeah, I do have a lot of brown material, so I love it when I've got lots of green material to mix through. Okay, so that's me with my 6 strawberry plants, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to offset them slightly, so I'll have 2 and then 2 slightly offset and 2 offset the other way again, and that just will give them a touch more space. Okay, so just as I did with pots, we've just got to be careful not to plant these too deeply and the crown then ends up underground. That's our 6 strawberry plants in, slightly offset rows. The last thing I'm going to do here, well, 2 things. I'm going to water and I'm going to put some sort of protection around it to stop the chickens jumping in. But before I do that, I'm going to have a think about what I'll do with these other ones. The weather is going to take a bit of a turn in the next couple of days to be quite cold. So I want to make sure I've got all of the strawberries all in their beds, wherever their beds might be. And all, you know, all as comfortable as they can be to ride out the cold spell that we're coming up with. I probably wouldn't have started doing these just now if I had known it was going to be quite so cold for a week or 2. But, well, we are here now. Okay, I've got that strawberry bed sorted out now. 6 plants in it, and I've already potted on 10 pots of babies, but now I have a large tote with lots more strawberries in. So what am I going to do with these? Right, so I have a number of smaller ones. That's actually not got much in the way of root, that can go. But I have a number of smaller ones, such as this. Okay, there's some tall leaves, but they all get cut. That will go into a small pot, so I'll have another number of small pots that, again, I will do as I did earlier. I'll pot them up, water them, pop them in the polytunnel. For slightly larger ones, I have, I think, 3 or maybe 4 hanging baskets, so I'm going to put some of them in those hanging baskets, and then the remainder I'm actually going to put, so I'll probably get 2 large ones or 3 small ones in this tote, and hopefully that will be them all accounted for. Here we are. Right, I've got a tray, I've got some pots, and here I've got some compost. So let me show you what I'm going to get up to. Okay, so I've got a mix of compost and vermiculite in here. Oh, hello, little chicken. Right, so let's start getting these. Now I'm going to trim them just as I did the other plants. Can I bring you forward? There we go. And then we just pop it in, making sure that we keep the crown above the soil level so that it doesn't rot. Okay, that's 18 pots of small strawberry plants, and they'll join the 10 pots I've already got in the polytunnel. Now let's get some hanging baskets organised with some of the others. Okay, got a little hanging basket here that had some summer flowers in that are over, so now we'll get it set up for some strawberry plants. Strawberry plants. Which strawberry plants? I might put 2 little ones in. I might do that actually. It's quite a lot of strawberry plants, but we'll see how it overwinters, and I can always rejig them later on. There's one. And there's two. So let's just plonky poo them in and get them all set up, making sure that they're in between where the wires are, so they're not growing up into the wires. I'll just put some compost in direct as well, but it's mostly got the compost with the vermiculite in. I should put 3 in there. I quite like the look of 3. And here's another smallish one. Yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. There. There we go. I'll hang that up. I'll give it a water. And that will be a nice little strawberry hanging basket. Now I've got another basket here. And this one, it did have plastic liner, but the plastic liner just ripped. So I've got some sheep's wool in there. This comes in packaging that you get with a variety of things. I actually get some fresh cat food delivered, can you believe? And it comes frozen, and it comes with this sheep's wool packaging that is covered in a sort of plastic. I think it's a recyclable plastic, but I've just taken the wool out of that and I'm using it as a liner for my hanging basket. I'm just going to pop some more compost in this tub with the vermiculite mix in, and then I'm going to pop it in here. Coming off. Right, has anyone else used sheep's wool to line their hanging baskets? I'd be interested to hear. Right, that's the second hanging basket. I think I may well have a third. I'm just going to go and have a little scoot and I'll pop some more strawberries in there. Righty tighty, I've got 3 hanging baskets full now and hanging up. I'll show you those just in a sec. And finally, well maybe not finally, but now I've got this tote into which I'm going to put some more strawberries. My goodness, that bed that I started off with earlier this year, it had 6 strawberry plants in, and now I have, well, let's count. I've got 28 in small pots, I've got 9 in hanging baskets, and I have got however many I'm putting in here in the tote, so probably 3, and then there's 6 in the original bed. Good golly. Good golly, Miss Molly. That's small. I'm going to move that over. I may as well. And I'll just put another one in there. I've got another little one. And that's me. I'll put this back on its stand where I picked it up from. Oh. Excellent. Try that again. Okay, how many strawberry plants did I get out of that bed? It started off with 6 at the beginning of the year, and there's 6 in it now. So there's 6 in that bed, there's 4 in this tote, that's 10. There's 28 in pots, that's 38, and there's 9 in hanging baskets. So 38, 47. 47 strawberry plants from an original 6. So, you know, once you've got strawberries, you've got strawberries. I can't remember what the varieties are, unfortunately, but hey, they're strawberries. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. It would really help the channel out. Anyway, enough of me prattling on. Thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you again very, very soon. Bye bye for now.